Self-consciousness is a disease. Consciousness is health. Self-consciousness is disease. Something has gone wrong. Some knots have arisen, some complex. The river of consciousness is not flowing naturally. Something foreign has entered into the river of consciousness, something alien. Something that cannot be absorbed by the river. Something that cannot become part of the river. Something that resists becoming part of the river. Self-consciousness is morbidity. Self-consciousness is a frozen state, blocked. It is like a dirty pool, going nowhere, just drying out, evaporating and dying. Of course it stinks. So the first thing to be understood is the difference between self-consciousness and consciousness. Consciousness has no idea of I, of ego. It has no idea of one's separation from existence. It does not know any barriers. It knows no boundaries. It is one with existence. It is in a deep at-one-ment. There is no conflict between the individual and the whole. One is simply flowing into the whole, and the whole is flowing into one. It is like breathing. You breathe in. You breathe out. When you breathe in, the whole enters you. When you breathe out, you enter the whole. It is a constant flow, a constant sharing. The whole goes on giving to you, and you go on giving to the whole. The balance is never lost. But in a self-conscious man, something has gone wrong. He takes in, but he never gives out. He goes on accumulating, and he has become incapable of sharing. He goes on making boundaries around himself so nobody can trespass. He goes on putting signboards around his being, no trespassing allowed. By and by, he becomes a grave, a dead being, because life is in sharing. A self is a dead thing, alive only in name. Consciousness is infinite life, life abundant. It knows no boundaries. But ordinarily, everybody is self-conscious. To be self-conscious is to be unconscious. This paradox has to be understood. To be self-conscious is to be unconscious and to be unself-conscious. Or to be self-unconscious is to become conscious. And when there is no self, when this small, tiny self disappears, you attain to the real self. With a capital S, call it the Supreme Self, the self of all. So it is both no self, in the sense that it is not only yours and the ultimate self also, because it is the self of all. You lose your tiny center and you attain the center of existence itself. Suddenly you become infinite. Suddenly you are no longer bound. You have no cage around your being. An infinite power starts flowing through you. You become a vehicle clear, with no obstructions. You become a flute, and Krishna can sing through you. You become just a passage. Empty, nothing of your own. This is what I call surrender. Self-consciousness is a non-surrendering attitude. It is the attitude of conflict, fight, struggle. If you are fighting with existence, you will be self-conscious. And of course, you will be defeated again and again and again. Each step is going to be a step into more and more defeat. Your frustration is certain. You are doomed from the very beginning. Because you cannot maintain this self against the universe. It is impossible. You cannot exist separately. You cannot be a monk. This word monk is good. You must be aware of similar words that come from the same root. Like monopoly or monastery or monologue. A monk is one who is trying to be himself, who is trying to define his boundaries, and who is trying to exist separate from this total existence. His whole effort is egoistic. It is bound to fail. No monk can ever succeed. You can succeed only with God, never against Him. You can succeed only with the whole, never against it. So if you are frustrated, in deep misery, remember you are creating that misery. and you are creating it by a subtle trick. You are fighting against the whole. It happened. It must have been a rainy season like this. And the village river was flooded. People came running to Mullah, Nasruddin, and said, "Your wife has fallen in the flooded river." "Run fast, save her," Nasruddin ran. He jumped into the river and started swimming upstream. The people who had gathered to see, they shouted, "What are you doing?" "Nasruddin, your wife cannot go upstream. The stream has taken her downward." Nasruddin said, "What are you talking about? I know my wife. She can only go upstream." The ego is always in an effort to go upstream. People don't like to do easy things. Before they can do them, they want to make them hard, difficult. People enjoy doing hard things. Why? Because when you face a hard thing, your ego becomes subtle, sharp. There is a challenge. When the first group reached the top of Everest, somebody asked Edmund Hillary, "Why did you take such a risk? It was dangerous. Many others have died before you and have not been able to reach." And the person who was asking was unable to understand why people go on, trying to reach Everest and losing their lives. What is the point of it? What is there to achieve? Edmund Hillary is reported to have said, "We cannot rest as long as this Everest remains unconquered. We have to conquer it. There is nothing to gain in it." But the very presence of Everest unconquered is a challenge. To whom is it a challenge? To the ego. Watch your own life. Many things you are doing only because of the ego. You want to make a big house. You may be perfectly comfortable in your house as it is, but you want to make a big palace. That big palace is not for you. That big palace is for the ego. You may be perfectly comfortable as you are, but you go on accumulating money. That money is not for you. That money is for the ego. How can you rest unless you have become the richest man in the world? But what are you going to do by becoming the richest man in the world? You will become more and more miserable. Because only misery comes out of conflict. Misery is an indication that you are in conflict. So don't throw your responsibility on something else. People are very good at rationalizing. If they are miserable, they will say, "What can we do?" The past lives' karmas are making us miserable. All rubbish. Past life karmas must have made you miserable, but in past lives. Why should they wait till now? There is no point in waiting. Your present karmas are making you miserable, throwing it on past lives. Makes it easy. What can you do? You have to be the way you are. Now nothing can be done. The past cannot be undone. You cannot erase it just by waving your hand. There is no magic trick that can help you to erase your past. It has happened, and it has happened forever. Now it is going to remain absolute. There is no possibility of changing it. That relieves you of the burden, and you think, "So okay. I have to be miserable because of the past karmas." You can throw the responsibility on the devil, as Christians go on doing. Hindus go on throwing the responsibility on past karmas, and Christians go on throwing the responsibility on the devil. He must be creating traps for you. It is not you, it is the devil who goes on, trapping you into miseries, and who goes on pulling you down toward hell. Who is bothered with you? Why should this devil be bothered with you? Then there are Marxists, communists, socialists. They say it is the social structure, the economic system that makes people miserable. Then there are Freudians, psychoanalysts. They say it is the child and mother relationship. But it is always something else. It is never you. It is never you in the present. And I would like to tell you, it is you. If you are miserable, you and only you are responsible. Neither the past nor the social structure, nor the economic system. Nothing is going to help. If you remain you, in any sort of a society, you will remain miserable. In any economic system, you will remain miserable. In any world, you will remain miserable. If you remain you, and the first basic change happens when you start dropping this conflict with existence. That is the only meaning of all the great religions. When they emphasize, drop the ego, they are saying, drop the conflict. I would like you to remember it more, because drop the ego seems too metaphysical. Ego? Where is the ego? What is the ego? The word seems to be known. You seem to be well acquainted with it. But it seems to be very vague, cannot be grasped. I would like to make it more practical, drop the conflict. Because ego is a byproduct of your conflicting attitude. People talk of conquering nature. People talk of conquering this and that. How can you conquer nature? You are part of it. How can the part conquer the whole? See the foolishness of it, the stupidity. You can be with the whole in harmony, or you can be in conflict with the whole in disharmony. Disharmony results in misery, harmony results in bliss. Harmony naturally results in a deep silence, joy, delight. Conflict results in anxiety, anguish, stress, tension. The ego is nothing but all the tensions that you have created around yourself. And in the first place, there is no need to create it. But why does man go on creating it? There must be some reason. Why does everybody go on creating the ego, the self? The real self is unknown, that's why. And it is very difficult to live without a self. So we create a pseudo-self, a substitute self. The real self is unknown. In fact, the real self never becomes absolutely known. It remains mysterious. It remains ineffable, indefinable. The real self is so vast that you cannot define it. And the real self is so mysterious that you cannot penetrate it to the very core. The real self is the self of the whole. It is not possible for human intellect to penetrate, to ponder, to contemplate it.